listen, I think he's got himself a new trainer and he wanted some extra time to work with him. I don't think he had an injury. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what training he's doing, who he's got in his corner, it's not going to change the outcome of the fight.
How do you feel about heading to Cardiff? Although you're the A side, you're the away fighter. How does that feel for you?
It's going to be fun, There's going to be a lot of people there baying for my blood, I'm guessing. I hope not, but I'm guessing that, it's going to be pretty hostile, being that it's in his hometown. I don't mind being the bad guy. I've been the bad guy many times before. And I feed off of that energy. Any energy, good energy, bad energy. I've learned how to use it to my favor. So I'm ready to go.
That was going to be my next question. How do you feed off the crowd? Does it matter whether it's boos, whether it's cheers? How do you sort of deal with that as you walk into the ring?
Whether you want me to win or lose, I'm going to go out there and do the job. What you don't want is a flat crowd. You don't want to walk in there and hear crickets and tumbleweeds. That would actually affect my performance if nobody cared, if nobody was interested. But as long as people are emotionally invested, whether it's where they want me to win or lose, that gets me pumped.
You've left Dominic, come down to Dominic Ingle in Sheffield at Winkman, come down to train with Adam Booth, another trainer that I rate massively. What was the thinking behind that?
No, I feel at home here, to be honest with you. I've been here for 4 weeks now. I've been here 4 weeks and I'm really enjoying it. I've been made to feel welcome. Me and Adam have gelled really well. And obviously the other guys at the gym, Charlie H and Adam, it's a good place to be. Everybody's buzzing and everybody's really friendly and made me feel welcome.
Adam Booth managed to do what probably Emmanuel Stewart didn't in taking Andy Lee to become a world middleweight champion. Does that give you faith in him to do that for you?
Yeah, 100%. I believe I believe as long as I was on the right track and keep myself dedicated and driven, I've always believed that I can, there's a good possibility I can become world champion anyway. And I think now having Adam in my corner, listening to things he says and what he does and the way he goes about his business, he's definitely a very, very good coach and even better than what I've always rated him highly, and he's even better than what I give him credit for in the past.
So Roy is due to be coming out closer to the fight, but how do preparations vary that in one site? Do you speak with him regularly? Does he send you tips over email and phone? Do you speak with him before every session, or does he sort of deal with things as it gets closer to the fight?
No, we don't speak before every session, but we're in contact a lot. I'm always picking his brains. He's always, checking up on me, finding out what I'm doing, what's going on. And yeah, he'll be out here closer to the fight. Until that time, I know what I'm doing. I've been here and I've done it many times before. And I remember the things that Roy's taught me over the last 2 years. So even though he's not here physically, mentally he is here. He's here up here.
Let's take it back to your last fight. You've been unfortunate with your recent matchups. You had 3 fighters and a rescheduled date from back in October. You've got a rescheduled date here. These fighters just don't seem to want the smoke. How do you deal with all these changes?
What can you do? It's no pun intended. You just got to roll with the punches. You got to do what you can do to not stress yourself out, not frustrate yourself. Keep calm and keep your eyes on the prize. Keep your eyes on the target. People pulling out, fight dates getting changed. It is part of the game. It happens. You just got to be professional about it and not let it affect you. And that's what I'm doing.
What did you make of Wanik Aldiyam? He came out, I mean, we know he's an orthodox fighter and he came out southpaw for that fight. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, I was shocked, and I actually spoke to him afterwards, and he said he'd never boxed southpaw in his life. So that was very interesting. Wasn't expecting that. It didn't help him, obviously, but it probably let him stay in the fight a little bit longer because I had to readjust and figure out what was going on. You know, whether Williams is going to try and employ some type of sneaky tactic like that, I wouldn't be surprised. But we're ready for everything.
Have you ever had to deal with a situation like that before, with an opponent just coming in with a completely different rogue game plan?
Yeah. It's happened a few times where you watch a fighter, you listen to what a fighter's saying before a fight, and then they show up on the night and they're a completely different guy, because they're trying to throw you off. You thought that they were going to box or you thought they were going to run, and they come and do the exact opposite. But I'm too experienced in the game. I've dealt with too many things in the gym, in the ring. So yeah, I'm able to adapt very quickly.
I've always been, and Manu Stewart used to do it a lot. You'd see him in the corner with different fighters. And he'd be in the corner with the opponent, a few months or a year down the line. Did that not make you think to yourself, this guy's trained Chris who I'm fighting? Am I making the right move? Is he going to tell me? Is it going to benefit me? Is he going to tell me what Chris did? Will Chris be worried, thinking Adam's going to be telling Liam what's going on? How I train. Did you think that benefited you as well?
Obviously, I thought Adam could give me a couple of little inside tips on things he does positively and things that he doesn't do so well. But that doesn't really matter me. It didn't really sway me in my decision. I purely come with Adam because I just thought he was a fantastic coach, and when I come down for a week's trial, we got on very well, and that's all it was to it. There was nothing in terms of trying to play mind games and all that business, but I do also think that may have a little bit of an impact on him, because he's going to be thinking, well, shit, Adam trained me. He knows a lot of my weaknesses and strengths that he can prevent me from using, so it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting matchup, and I think it's one for the people to be excited about.
So let's talk about the pedigree of your opponent and your approach to that. Former two-time RBO super middleweight champion. That was from 2017 through to 2019. His only losses with the George Groves and Billy Joe Saunders. 23 KOs out of 31 wins. He'd never been stopped before. He says heavyweights haven't even put him down. And you both claim to be big punchers and big bangers. Do you think you've got the mettle to shatter all that life he's built up, that he's created?
Obviously, I'm training for a hard 12-round fight because he's a very tough guy, very fit, always in great physical condition. So, credit to the guy, but I just believe I got too much boxing experience and IQ for him.
Would you believe he was is the best opponent today on paper?
The best opponent Nah, I think you'd have to say Demetrius Andrade is my best opponent on paper because he's 3-time world champion, and no disrespect, but Eubank Jr.'s IBO world champion. Again, no disrespect, but you can keep your IBO belts because I'm not interested. I'd rather not pay the sanctioning fee for them.
You are now ranked number 1 in the domestic scene. Liam is number 2. That always builds for a classic. Do you think this has the potential to be one of the fights of the year, if not the fight of the year, especially stylistically as well?
I think so. Yeah, we both have a very fun style to watch. One thing I will say about Williams is that he does have the heart and desire to win, to try and take a fight away from his opponent. So with a man like that fighting me, it's never going to be a boring fight. And I think, yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting and fun fight for the fans to watch.
Rankings aside, and without it seeming like you're taking a step back with you being ranked number 1, is there anyone else in the UK that's on your hit list, even up at 168, 160?
In the UK, at middleweight, no. Super middleweight, well, no, you know what? Yeah, it is middleweight, because even the guys at super middleweight, they have to come down. I'm not going to go up. I don't need to go up in weight. So, you know, everyone's talking about this Saunders fight. If and when it happens, he will come down to 160. I'm not going to go up. I don't need to go up. But yeah, domestically, there's not a lot of guys on my radar, to be honest. It's much more the world scene is what I'm focused on.
Looking at that world level, who are the names that are on your hit list for 2022?
All the guys with a belt, you know. I've said it time and time again, Golovkin is my #1 target. And now that he's not fighting Murata, we're pushing for that fight. I'm pushing for that fight. If I can't get him, then I want to fight Murata. I want to fight for a belt, you know. I was WBA interim world champion, so I'm next in line. And a big win against, a name like Liam Williams, it puts me in their driving seat to then go forward and challenge for these belts.
Yeah, you're ranked very highly in the world. Obviously, WBA, you're ranked #1. WBC, you're ranked #2. Obviously, Jamal Charlo is the champion there. Is that another name that you'd be open to?
Absolutely. You know, that fight was being built. They were setting that up for 2020. You know, we both fought on the same card in New York, in Brooklyn, and you know, we were kind of that fight was going to get built from there. But COVID hit, and you know, I didn't fight in 2020. But that fight is definitely still on the cards. He has a world title, and I'm looking to take over the division. So yeah, absolutely.
How tough a test is Chris Eubank Jr.?
Very tough, definitely very tough. I need to be on my P's and Q's, and I need to be mentally focused and ready for a tough fight.
What's your path to victory? How are you going to approach this fight?
I just think I need to keep my cool, keep my focus, and purely just listen to Adam in the corner and the instructions he gives me, without giving too much away. You know.
Do you have the power to stop him?
100%. I believe I have the power to stop anybody, certainly at middleweight. It just depends how I go about that, and you know, it depends on him as well, and how he's going to take the shots.
How do you rate his power?
I don't rate his power. He's got decent power. Yeah, that's about it. He's got decent power, but his biggest, the biggest thing for him is how he puts his shots together. He throws punches and punches. He really does put them together well in numbers, and a good variety with it. So that's the best bet for him.
Would you rate his speed over his power?
Yeah, I definitely speed over power, and speed and punch variety. Yeah.
What did you get from that? You sparred together, didn't you?
Yeah, it was some years ago. It was quite. It must have been 10 years ago.
Now the juicy bit. What do you think of him as an individual?
I don't like him, and I think it's all kind of stemmed from there, because I didn't really know him until I went to spar with him and George Groves at David Hayes' gym. I believe it was Park Plaza, London. Mm-hmm. And yeah, he was there. He walks in, didn't talk to anybody, wrapped up, you know, just didn't have any interaction with anybody. Weren't asked to talk to anybody. Didn't even say hello. And before we even sparred, I thought, this guy's a bit of a dick. Do you know what I And then we
Because
sparred.
there's really no reason for any animosity when you're going into spar with somebody. You know, it's this business, you're going to bring each
it's
other
actually
on.
quite friendly, and you obviously
Yeah.
you're there to help each other out. Essentially, you're giving each other some good work and trying to take bits away. But yeah, so basically, it's what I said there. And then we sparred. We was doing kind of like round in, round out with George, who was at the time due to fight. I'm not sure if he was due to fight De Gale. Obviously, none of us are southpaws, but it was just earlier on in camp, so like just to get some good rounds, you know. Anyway, I'm sparring with him, and we were on the inside. I'm kind of roughing him up and putting the elbow in his face and just giving him a bit of the head.
Yeah.
And he turns around and he goes to, I think it was Adam who said, "Fuck me," he goes, "What's this, UFC or something?" Like, really throwing his toys at the pram. Fucking hell, come on, it's a fight, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's basically, I know it's slightly more friendly in sparring, but essentially it's a fight and you're training for a fight, so don't be bitching about a little forearm in the face, do you know what I mean? So, just goes to kind of show really he's been wrapped up in cotton wool. I'm not saying he's a very tough guy, but now he's built that over time, but he's obviously through his childhood he's been wrapped up, and yeah, we'll see how that works out for him in January.
Could that have been a hindrance or a help to him?
I don't know, mate. It depends which way you look at it, really. But I'm going to be headbutting him, elbowing,
Well, you've got to push it to the brink.
hitting him low. I'm going to pull every dirty card at the book.
Let's bring it back to the opponent that is next in line, Liam Williams. What did you make of him when you came face to face with him for the first time, when you saw him at the press conference, when you stood there looking into his eyes? What did you make of him?
I was just thinking to myself, this guy is a wetbag, a turncoat. You know, all the things he'd said online over the last 2 years, and he had nothing to say for himself when the man was actually in front of him. Very disappointing. Not really for me, because obviously I don't want to hear someone talking shit, disrespecting me in front of my face. But for the fans, you know, the fans were expecting some heat in that press conference. And he did not fulfill his promise. And it will be no different on the night when we get in that ring.
Mm-hmm. What is it specifically that gives you that confidence, that makes you feel levels above Liam Williams?
I've served my time. I've served my time. And I know what it takes to get to the top and stay at the top. I don't think he does. He doesn't have that experience. He doesn't have that discipline. Guys swear they know what's going on. They swear they're going to do this and do that, and no one really knows until that bell goes. And sometimes people get found out, and sometimes, you know, things don't go to plan. But you have to be confident. You have to believe. You have to truly believe in yourself. Otherwise, you're never going to win. You know, you're always going to come up short. So, you know, my confidence comes from that, knowing that you have to believe that you're better than somebody to be able to beat them.
You're always a very cool, calm and collected character. In the inside, do you feel any emotion towards Liam Williams?
I don't like the guy. I'm not going to say he makes me emotional. I'm not going to give him that much credit. I feel sorry for the guy, to be honest, more than anything. I feel sorry for him because he's dug himself into a very deep hole, and unless he pulls out again, which is not actually something that I would be surprised if it happened. But if he doesn't, then he's in for a rough night.
What can the fans expect when coming to watch Chris Eubank Jr. on Fight Night?
Complete and utter domination from the round 1 to round 12. If it goes 12 rounds, it's gonna be yeah, I'm gonna blow the guy away. And if he's somehow able to bring something to the table that I'm not expecting, or that, you know, I didn't know he was capable of, then you know, that's good. That's great for the fans. But I think I'm going to go out there and just take him out.
In another world, if you weren't fighting each other, would Chris be the kind of guy you'd have as a friend?
100% not. I'd still dislike him very much, and I'd probably want to fight him on the road rather than the ring.
Nice.
Liam, you've talked a hell of a game, and on January 29th, you're going to have to back it up. I don't believe you will be able to do so, but we will find out. The fans are going to be watching. The world is going to be watching, and yeah. I mean, if your Twitter game's as strong as your ring game, then I'm sure you have no issues. But we both know what's coming. You're getting banged out clean. So be prepared, my friend.